What's up, people? It's Casey, and wow, I realized I haven't uploaded a video in the past 5 months, so my perception of time, there isn't any. But I just want to start uploading YouTube videos more consistently and make it like just a regularly scheduled thing. Just a brief update to what I'm doing in the background. I'm leveling up competitive VGC Pokemon up to level 50 for competitive play, and I'm earning prize money. But what I wanted to talk about was really just Pokemon and YouTube culture, and some things that I've noticed. So let me just give you guys a little quick brief introduction of like how I got into Pokemon, primarily competitively. So basically I just played Pokemon like my whole life, and I really got into it like competitively around like, I would say like third or fourth generation, around like Ruby and Sapphire, but I really got into competitive play around Diamond and Pearl. So around, I would like to say from like 2007 to about 2010 is where I was just into Pokemon like competitively, heavily. Like I was into it like heavily. And back then, if you guys don't know, fourth generation Wi-Fi battles was like the biggest thing with Pokemon among players, and like with YouTube, that was like the big thing to do was do 6v6 single Wi-Fi battles. That was huge. I mean, and doubles battles was around, but it wasn't really as big as singles. What really made doubles battles like really popular was just the fact that it was like the official rule of Pokemon of competitive play. So that that really is what got people into doubles battles. But for the most part, singles battles was like dominant. So I was into Pokemon heavily. So I was watching YouTube videos back then, and cognizant with playing the game and stuff like that, and people would talk on like forums and chat rooms and stuff like that, and would battle each other and upload their battles. And back then, I mean, the schemes were like completely different. People would use like camcorders that they bought from Best Buy before like people had like capture cards and stuff like that. People would have their own little unique setups and stuff like that. So back then, there was like 3 primary guys that I watched that you could, I guess you could call them like the first PokeTubers and stuff like that. There was like 3 primary guys that were like actual like YouTube personalities that played Pokemon. There was a guy named Gigatitan, and there was a guy named Uton. And basically they were just like these zealous kids that played Pokemon, who would like battle people in chat rooms and battle some of their viewers and people in the comment section and stuff like that. Just you know, it was just like a hobby for them and stuff like that. They would upload Wi-Fi battles with narrations behind them and stuff like that, and they would make videos consistently. Like there was a lot of Pokemon content on the internet, but there wasn't a lot of people putting narrative behind the gameplay and actually like divulging in the culture and like communicating with people and stuff like that. So they were kind of like the first people to do that. And like they were just, you know, they would just upload, I guess, like weekly and stuff like that from time to time when they had a chance. And it was just normal, like just fun, like a fun atmosphere and just like a fun hobby for them. It was just a hobby and stuff like that. And this was before like you know, people knew you could get paid through advertisement and get partnerships and stuff like that. That was before it was like real big, and they would just have fun with it and stuff. But I think Gigatitan like retired from YouTube to like just pursue a different career and stuff like that. Like I think he went to college and like just focused on a completely different career besides YouTube. And Uton, I don't even think he was supposed to have a YouTube channel. I think like his parents made him delete it, something like that, for both of them. It was like more or less for both of them, that's what happened. And then the third guy was what you guys might know is Maryland. And I know Maryland's channel is still around, but like back then it was like a completely different thing. Like he was like kind of like the go-to guy when you wanted to find out information, like with Pokemon and stuff like that, like the newest games and stuff like that, and gameplay and all sorts of cool stuff like that. But back then he also kind of showed a more competitive side to single 6v6 battling. Like he was like kind of like the first one, well, on YouTube, like to incorporate like the strategy and stuff like that. Because back in the day, like what most people would do, like third generation, before legendaries were like considered Ubers, people would play the games to catch the legendaries to battle with them. And back then all we pretty much did was put like Solar Beam, Fire Blast, Blizzard, and like Thunder on like Mewtwo's and Lugias and stuff like that, and try to win battles like that before we actually incorporated strategies and before like people knew about like a lot of the game's mechanics. He was like the one like incorporating that and kind of leading the culture and like playing the games and stuff like that competitively. And he was kind of like, I don't want to say God, but he kind of had like this king-like image, and he was wearing this crown that might as well have been a target, because like he would upload basically the cool thing to do back then was do singles battles and like speed them up like 2 times speed and put like music behind it and let people like watch the battle kind of go out. If it was a long like sought out battle and people didn't put narratives behind it, they would just upload music like that. A lot of you guys probably might know about that, like 4th generation Wi-Fi battles. It was huge, and he was like kind of like this kingpin. And the like most interesting thing was he didn't upload like a lot of, I don't think he ever like uploaded like any like battles where he lost and stuff like that. So it was just like he was just kind of known as this like I said, like king or something, and people were just trying to it's like they were trying to dethrone him, trying to get like victories off of him and stuff like that. And it was just like huge. It was crazy. Like what? And I don't think a lot of people know that side of Maryland, like to where he was like one of the like the coolest like battlers and stuff like that. Like he had a team of like he had like this infamous team. It was a level 1 Rattata with a Focus Sash, Endeavor, and Quick Attack. Like before people actually knew what that strategy was. He had he was like the first one to kind of show you how to like use like walls and stuff like that, like special walls, like Blissey. He had a Blissey. He had a Skarmory with like Whirlwind and like with the Whirlwind and Stealth Rocks. And he was actually showing like you how like using moves that gain stats could sweep a team and stuff like that. So he had a level 1 Rattata, like I said. He had a Blissey, which was a special wall monster. He had a Skarmory. He had how many is that? 4, I think. Rattata, Blissey, Skarmory, and then he had Salamence, and he was Shuffle Intimidates before people knew how powerful Intimidates were. What else? He had Gengar, and he had a Tyranitar, and it was just like this epic team and stuff like that. And everybody would kind of just like, make videos for fun back then. So from like I said, from like 2007 to 2010 is when I was like really into the culture and stuff like that. But Pokemon was kind of consuming my life. Like it was getting in the way of my schoolwork and my social life, so I kind of just stopped playing it to kind of have a break and just focus on my life and stuff like that. So then I was so like I said, I took a break. I didn't really get to play like Platinum and like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so I took a break. And I was gonna come back, but then I seen like the release for Black and White, and I just thought it was like so bad, I just decided just to stay away from it. So I think like summer 2014 is when I got back into Pokemon. But that was pretty much like the culture back then. It was just like a hobby and for fun, and people did it like wholeheartedly, like for just the love of the culture and just the love of the game and just to interact with people on a higher scale, like on a national scale or like even a global scale, to talk about the games that they loved and stuff. So then, after some time goes by, I see the release for Pokemon X and Y, and I'm like, this is kind of cool because they have it in 3D now. So I was like, you know what, I'm not really doing anything. I'm out of school now, so I don't have to. Pokemon's really is not gonna consume my life like it was before. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a break. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into it and see what's up and stuff like that. So I started looking up videos on YouTube and stuff like that to kind of see how everything was going and stuff like that. Relearn the games, relearn the mechanics, like the battle strategies, all that. See what's different, what's new and stuff like that. And then I came back and I was checking out a lot of people's YouTube channels and stuff like that. And one thing I noticed, I was like, wow, there's a lot more, I guess, quote unquote, Poketubers and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow. So I was going through the channels and stuff like that. And I just noticed like the culture just was so shifted. Like YouTube is like one of those few places where you have like the liberated freedom to be yourself and be as creative as you want and grow an audience and just grow a fan base and stuff like that, or get recognition for just being you and stuff like that. Like besides like copyright infringement and stuff like that, it's not really that restricted on what you can and cannot do and what you can and cannot say and stuff like that. So I'm like going through the channels, like relearning the culture, seeing what's hot, like who's like people making the videos and stuff like that. And I'm just like relearning everything, and I'm just like I was just seeing how much the culture had shifted, like even from like little elements to like usernames and stuff like that, and to introductions and to outros, and just like kind of more like a manipulative culture, and like stuff with like clickbait and people rushing to upload content, and people doing a lot of stuff for solely for viewing content and stuff like that, and getting new audiences and stuff like that. We're making like seductive like thumbnails, or like I said, like clickbait and stuff like that, to kind of try to catch people's eyes and stuff like that, instead of just trying to just be entertaining and stuff like that. I just see how much the culture changed. Like even like I said, even like little elements like usernames, like there's always some like mix between Pokemon and Nintendo, or just like some unoriginal like username, or usernames like only like constructed for Pokemon and stuff like that. Like it will always be something like the Hyrulean Gallade, or it's always something shiny, like, hey guys, I'm the shiny Feebas, or I'm the angry Primeape or something like that. It's always like these weird like unoriginal YouTube names and stuff like that. And like I said, it's like one of the few places where you can actually be yourself and actually be creative. And I was just seeing how manipulative the culture has become, like even from like little stuff like, what's a like goal? Like people have like like goals, and they're like, if this video doesn't reach a certain amount of likes, I won't make another one. Like little stuff like that. Like when did it become like all about like likes and viewerships, and like what happened to like just the culture of having fun and stuff like that? It's just ridiculous. Even the key elements, like it, like I liked how like people can get they can make videos and stuff like that and support themselves financially and stuff like that, and that's cool. But it's like, when did like entertainment and the fun of the culture turn into just a business, and doing stuff for viewership, and doing stuff solely for money and popularity, and YouTube fame and stuff like that? Like there's not a lot of quality and entertainment in the videos. It's just more like a rat race to try to get exposure and stuff like that, and doing like little gimmicky stuff and cheeky things for views and stuff like that. Like the culture has shifted so much and stuff, like to the point where it's almost not like really fun anymore. But yeah,